Hello everyone, welcome to a special video in which today we will explain why some foreign speakers might associate the sound of Neapolitan to other languages. Today we will teach you about the influence of other civilizations in the Neapolitan language and culture, and compare different languages to Neapolitan. Before we get started, please subscribe to our channel to support us and click on the top of this video for more Neapolitan content and culture. Okay, let's begin. The city of Naples for a long time kept its Greek origins, but gradually the population adapted more to the customs of the Romans. A certain variant of Latin was formed that was spoken in Naples around the early Middle Ages, although there was a partial revival of Greek during the Byzantine domination. Naples became a centre of commercial exchange and great culture, above all because of the rich land, disputed amongst powerful empires, and so it received a lot of exposure from different civilizations. As a result, the language was enriched with many terms that were adapted into the Neapolitan language that we know today. Many of them arrived directly through the mouth of the rich merchants who traded spices and fabrics in the ancient port of the city. Other terms from the Arabs, Spanish and French dominations, which all had enriched the language of Campania both in phonetics and morphology and above all in vocabulary. Like Parthenope before and Neapolis after, the Campania capital had a privileged relationship with Greece since its origins. The city itself still remains the imprint of Hellenistic culture amongst its streets. It's not only urban planning that reminds us of the Greek origins of Naples, but also the dialect that has retained many words of the ancient language, some of which are truly curious. There are many Greek words that still add colour and give flavour to the Neapolitan language. Let's take a look. First word, pot.
Pentola, caccavello.
From
Cacabo,
bowl. Apricot
Albicocca, chrysomala.
comes from the Greek term
χρυσονή,
golden and
μιλών,
fruit. Bedpan
Pitale, candere.
from
κάνθαρος,
big cup. Tablecloth
Tovaglia, masale.
from
μισάλιον,
tablecloth. Confused
Confuso, nzallanute.
from
ζάλαϊνο,
fool, naive. Clearly
Chiaramente. Papele.
from
πάπος,
slow, which is typically doubled in Neapolitan, slowly. Parsley
Prezzemolo, utrusine.
from
πετροσέλινον,
parsley. Shop
Negozio, puteca.
from
ποθήκη,
store. Now let's study the Spanish elements of Neapolitan. The Kingdom of Naples and southern Italy were the areas where the Spanish Empire settled and lasted for 400 years in two different eras. 3.5 centuries of the Spanish being in Naples could not fail to have some influence in the spoken language of Neapolitan. One of the most Hispanic dialects is, in fact, the Neapolitan dialect. Let's see how some Spanish words have been introduced into Neapolitan and what rules from Spanish have given important variations to the language. The verb
Ave,
and
tené.
meaning to have. In a similar way to Spanish, the Neapolitan correspondent of the verb
tener,
Tené.
is used instead of the direct correspondent of having, in all cases where it indicates possession or a condition such as appetite, thirst, etc. For example, I'm cold.
Ho freddo. Teng fridde.
Tengo frío.
They have a house.
Hanno una casa. Tenen una casa.
Tienen una casa.
The verb
Ave.
instead, that still corresponds to the verb to have, is used only as an auxiliary for compound tenses, and when it has the meaning of have to, where also the verb
Tenez.
can be used, and when it is used in the imperative tense. Let's see some examples. He has said.
Lui ha detto. Issarit.
Él ha dicho.
I have done.
Ho fatto. Aggio fatto.
He hecho.
The direct Neapolitan correspondent of the verb to have
Ave.
is often used as an auxiliary verb, even when in Italian it is used to be. For example, with reflexive verbs or with movement verbs. I have gone.
Sono andato. Aggiuto.
He ido.
I have come.
Sono venuto. Venuto.
He venido.
We can see that this is the same as in Spanish with to have, tener, and to have, haber. Replacement of the V sound as a B sound. In Neapolitan, the V sound is often replaced with the B sound and vice versa. For example, you could hear
Bevere. Vevere.
to drink and empty.
Vacande. Vacande.
That replacement comes from Spanish, where the letter V, or V, is pronounced like B. In addition to the rules, there are many words that come from Spanish, and they are still used today, not surprisingly making the Neapolitan language very Hispanic. Let's take a look. To earn, to gain, or to get hit.
Guadagnarsi. Ottenere con sforzo. Essere picchiati. Abbusca.
From,
Buscar.
to find, to fit.
Entrare. Contenere. Capere.
From,
Caber.
to fit. To sew,
Cucire. Cosere.
derived directly from,
coser,
to sew. Manners,
Educazione. Crianza.
from,
Crianza.
manners. Belt,
Cintura. Currea.
from,
Correa.
belt. To go,
Andare. Gli.
derived directly from,
ir,
to go. Thug, bully,
Teppista. Prepotente. Wap.
derived directly from,
Guapo.
handsome or good looking. A match,
Fiammifero. Micciariel.
from,
mechero,
lighter. To shut,
Chiudere. Nzerrà.
derived directly from,
cerrar,
to shut. Dove,
Colomba. Palom.
derived directly from,
paloma,
dove. To heat up or to poach,
Riscaldarsi. Scarfa.
derived directly from,
Escalfar.
to heat up, to poach. Shotgun,
Fucile. Scoppette.
derived directly from,
Escopeta.
shotgun. Dirty,
Sporco. Tuzzuso.
from,
sucio,
dirty. Now let's listen to how the French influenced Neapolitan. All of southern Italy dealt with the influence of the French at different times, so there was an influx and spread of French in Naples and throughout southern Italy. The continuous trade between France and Italy had certainly favoured the spread of words and idioms onto Italian territory. Even after the French Revolution and the spread of Enlightenment through Europe, Neapolitans and French intellectuals alternated ideas and customs between Naples and Paris. There were essentially 3 periods of French domination, in which the French monarchies brought about slow but profound changes, through a wide repertoire of laws, making Neapolitans more aware of French etiquette. Even today, there are still many words and rules that Neapolitan loaned from French, and adjusted to suit to their own language. Let's take a listen.
Vous.
And,
Vui.
differently from Spanish and Italian and similarly to French, Neapolitan uses a second plural form, you plural, in a formal context to refer to someone we don't have any intimacy with. For example, how are you, miss?
Signora, come sta? Signor, voi come state?
Comment allez-vous?
Madame,
Don't worry, sir.
Non si preoccupi, gentiluomo. Non vi preoccupate, bell'uomo.
Ne vous inquiétez pas.
monsieur,
In French, the formal you is the same, and with the second plural person,
Vous.
the schwa sound. As we know, the Neapolitan dialect often has the non-tonic vowels, that is, on which the accent does not fall. Those are placed at the end of a word or where the word is stressed, found, for example, in French words like
Petit.
Pecceril. Piccolo.
little,
Table.
Tavolo. Tavolo.
table,
Rouge.
Russe. Rosso.
red. So, following the weakening of the final vowel, many nouns have an identical pronunciation, both in the singular and in the plural. The two forms are distinguished by the use of the different articles, to the concordance of the verb or adjectives. Other nouns instead have a distinct form for the plural, sometimes based on the mutation of the tonic vowel. For example,
Oaglione. Aguaglione.
le carton, les cartons,
this rule is a typical characteristic of the French language, in some plural forms like
O cartone. E cartone.
un travail, des travaux,
Now let's see what terms have been loaned from French. To light up,
Accendere. Allumà.
derived directly from
Allumer.
to light up. After,
Dopo. Apries.
from,
Après.
after. Cute,
Cosa graziosa. Bijou.
derived directly from
Bijou.
jewel. Can, chubby,
Lattina. Persona grassa. Boîte.
derived directly from
Boîte.
can. Chest of drawers,
Cassettone. Cumò.
from
Commode.
wardrobe. Tea light,
Candela. Lumine. Lumière.
derived directly from
Lumière.
light. Crafty,
Furbacchione. Marpione.
from
marpion,
crabs. To do one's best,
Adoperarsi. Giarmar.
derived directly from
charmer,
to charm. Postman,
Postino. Postiere.
derived directly from
postier,
postman. Jacket,
Giubba. Marsina. Chasse.
derived directly from
Chasse.
hunting uniform. Clothier,
Cassettone. Chiffonniere.
derived directly from
chiffonnière,
clothier. To go wrong,
Sbagliare. Sgarrà.
derived directly from
s'égarer,
to go wrong. Corkscrew,
Cavatappo. Tirabuscio.
derived directly from
bouchon,
corkscrew. Ponytail,
Pettinatura a coda di cavallo. Tup.
derived directly from
toupet,
toupee. Now let's take a look at the Arabic influence. The meeting between Arabs and the city of Naples, or rather Campania, can be enclosed in about a century. They came to Italy after a request for help from the Neapolitans because they were under siege from the Lombards of the Duchy of Benevento. The Arabs established an alliance with Neapolitans against Rome and the Byzantines, until the pact that the Dukes of Gaeta, where Naples and the Kingdom of Italy resigned to successfully repel the Arab invasion of the peninsula, after the Arabs had conquered Sicily. Thanks to the Arabs, the Neapolitan people had learned some new terms. Let's take a look at some of them. Loads, in abundance.
In gran quantità, abbondantemente. Abzef,
Derived directly from
بزاف.
in abundance. Ill,
malanno, infermità. Acciac,
from
سقى.
ill. Slippers,
pantofole. Babbucce,
derived directly from
Babosque.
shoe. Artichoke,
carciofo. Carciofole,
derived directly from
حرصوف.
artichoke. Hernia,
ernia. Waller,
from
حضر.
something. Orange,
arancia. Purtual,
derived directly from
برتقالي.
orange. Muslim,
saraceno, musulmano. Sarracine,
from
شرقي.
eastern. To argue,
bisticciare, litigare. Sciarrà,
from
سارر.
to argue. Cracking,
screpolatura, ragade. Cerchie,
from
شق.
cracking. Tripe,
stomaco di bue, trippa. Trip,
derived directly from
تعريب.
tripe. Coarse woman,
donna rozza e sguaiata. Vaias,
derived directly from
باجاش.
coarse woman. So, as you can see, Neapolitan has been influenced many times by a number of different civilizations that have shaped the way Neapolitan is spoken today, making it quite unique. We hope that you've learned something. Do you know any other words or phrases from other languages that sound similar to Neapolitan? Please let us know in the comment section below. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for future videos. If you want to watch more of this video, you can find the full lesson on our Patreon page, where you can find even more words and phrases from these languages. If you would like to support us and become a patron, our Patreon page can be found at www.patreon.com/Aaron Air Stefano. We will also leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching and see you soon.